Cope with the distance. Business advices from a CEO in everyday life events. Click like to let other YouTubers know about this video. Click subscribe to see other videos like this one. Okay, so yes, I did delete my audio files by mistake. I lost my audio on the unboxing of the MMC 1A. Okay, I had more times to digest the content, so you'll have my reaction in a more condensed way. First of all, I wanted to upgrade my equipment to a tube approach. And I wanted a channel strip. I have a mobile setup, and I had only two units for rack mount available. One is taken already by the power regulator, and one is taken by the audio interface, the sound card. So I had only two left, and I wanted the whole thing. So a preamp, equalizer, and compressor. I originally looked for the Avalon VT737SP that Madonna, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre have used in the past. But I discovered John G. Petersen, an audio engineer who has revolutionized the industry by his tube approach. And his approach his philosophy is similar to what I'm looking for. Something organic, rich, really dense in terms of resolution. So I look for the tube approach, the analog approach, and treat the sound as much as possible before the conversion to the digital world. So I went for a channeled strip following his philosophy. John G. Petersen, he founded TubeTech after working at all the biggest audio companies. He founded his own company because he wanted an all-tube approach, an old technology, but that brings the best results for organic wavelength work. So analogic work. Now, I chose the TubeTech approach. I was looking for a good preamp. My previous preamp had lots of background noise when I was cranking it up. So I went for TubeTech because they're not known for their tubes, their preamps. They're known for their compressors mostly. Pretty much every studio has this CL1B compressor. It's an analog compressor. It's present in here. But here there's a preamp before that is a big piece of the audio treatment. So I read that this preamp is really impressive, and then I discovered the multi-compression approach designed by Mr. Petersen. So what it is, it's like an EQ. It separates the low, the mid, and the high frequencies, but it allows you to compress the sound within the frequencies, meaning that you can boost some of the things that you wouldn't hear normally in a more surgical way. You can really shape your sound, and that was meant mainly for vocals, exactly what I'm doing. This multi-compression approach is different from what you would see in the MEC 1A that has the regular AQ, but I think it's closer to the philosophy of John J. Petersen. That's why I went for this discontinued equipment. I found the last box on the planet on a website based in London or in England. So and I couldn't find it anywhere. There was no new box left. I found the last one, and it was quite an emotional moment to open it. I woke up at 2 a.m. super excited. I couldn't wait. So it's a big thing. But so in the approach of defining my sound and upgrading my equipment, I followed the judgment of an expert more than mine. a maker of sound, and it's John G. Petersen, and I tried to be as faithful as possible to his approach. So that's why I went all in with him in a channel strip. Um, Now, the preamp I mentioned is tremendous, really clear, really powerful, and no background noise, almost nothing. For tubes, it's impressive. Now, the multi-compressor with an output gain at the end is an amazing approach. Although for what I'm doing right now, you don't see any compression happening, even though I've cranked up everything to the max. It's meant for power, I guess. I can try to see, and you can see the pulsive generating low frequencies up to 10. So it means that it's calibrated well, but it's all boosted to the max. So I could probably crank up more the preamp. It's only boosted by 30 dB here, and 4 in the mic lane. Something really useful is the switch between the line and the mic. So when you're about to trigger the phantom power or not, you can go to line and it doesn't affect the signal. Therefore, you protect your tubes by cutting the line before to trigger the phantom. Then you can go back to mic line. My general comment on this machine is it blowed my mind. The Tube Tech sound all in is a phenomenal sound. I did not expect what I experienced. Hearing your own voice within that system makes you feel like you strengthen up your spine right away. It's the sound is straight up. It's present. It's vibrant. It's there. I was impressed specifically by the high frequencies that are really like in your ear, really, really present, and delicate, rich. All the details are there, and the treatment is quite neutral. You get the low, the mid, and the high really up there, all of them. It's a very impressive sound. The first impression that I got is when I tasted a very expensive wine for the first time. Old wine, well kept, done with people with tons of passion for wine, who cultivate their knowledge over decades and decades of craftsmanship. And these wines are impressive, and when you taste them, you discover amplitude of taste and variety and harmony and balance and equilibrium, and these things are define good taste. And once you realize what it is, you remember the feeling, and you can apply it to food, movies, music, marketing, business, anything you want. It's just an intensity and with an approach of no compromises in each detail. So winemakers will do very hard things at specific moment of the production to make sure to improve the wine, and sometimes it has very bad consequences on the profits of these companies, but they do it for the passion and for the brand name, their name. They're proud of their name. So I felt that while using a Tube Tech machine. The sound is like holding a delicate flower that is tied up to a very big concrete block that sustains the bases. You have all the spectrum of the frequencies well defined, and it's natural. So when you do compression, the machine's SMC2B, it's the multi-compressor of Tube Tech. it's a big machine. This is based out of this machine, and it's a smaller version, but if you look at the tubes used, it's almost the same thing. By the way, in the manual, it says that there's 4 ECC 81 and 1 ECC 83 and 1 ECC 82. Actually, when I open the box, there's 7 tubes, so it doesn't respect the manual specs. I trust that machine. I think it's great. If there's more tubes, more processing power, I'm happy. But that's just a small detail I noticed. When you use these compressors all based in tubes, the sound is not fuzzy. The sound is not muffled. The sound is clean. Why? Because it's analog compression. So the wavelength is not chopped in different pieces and you try to make them fit. It's like smooth. So it always sounds natural. You will not recognize the normal compression you're used to where it sounds like this. No, there's no muffing. It's really clear. Besides the richness, the neutrality, it's so ample, it's so vast, the sound is so present. It felt like being a kid again. When you're a kid, that's the kind of sound I got. So I was not sure for fast singing, but I'm really impressed by the speed. And I've put release and attack at mid right now, but I think for rap, because it's so straight as a sound, it can really be have the choppy effect that you would want in the rap or any kind of singing. It's smooth at the same time. Very impressed by TubeTech approach. In that case, I decided to invest in the judgment of an expert in which I trusted the vision, John J. Petersen. I know this equipment is discontinued, but it's a pure act of passion from engineers. Inside, the circuits are all clean, short, well displaced. Nothing is like out of place. It's very impressive, the circuits inside. I think this product just missed education in the market. I can't believe that the multi-compressor in a channel strip is not interesting at that quality. It's incredible. So it happens sometimes, especially when you introduce a new type of product in the market. You need to educate the market because consumers don't know what to do with the product, and I believe that's what happened. People didn't know why would you need a multi-compressor. I prefer an IQ. Everybody knows the IQ. So the EQ, sorry, not the IQ. So I know this equipment is discontinued, but I can't believe it didn't get traction in the market. This multi-compressor approach on a channel strip is a real innovation, and I hope that TubeTech will re-edit this product with a de-esser, analog de-esser. A tube-based de-esser would be fantastic added to that, and with marketing budget, I think people would realize the value of such a product.